सच्चिदानन्दं परमसुखदं केवलं ज्ञानमूर्तिं द्वन्द्वातीतं गगनसदृशं तत्त्वमस्यादिलक्ष्यम् एकं नित्यं विमलमचलं सर्वदी साक्षिभूतं भावातीतं त्रिगुणरहितं सद्गुरुं तं नमामि. I welcome you all with my love and respects. Today's topic is emotional intelligence. It is the continuity of Patanjali Yoga Sutra series. The 8 parts of Patanjali Yoga, Ashtanga. Usually people always say they translate the Ashtanga as 8 steps, which is a big mistake. It is not 8 steps, 8 parts. 8 step means usually we understand one after the other, one after the other, the one after the other. But it is not 8 steps, it is 8 parts. All the 8 is supposed to be practiced at the same time. Ashtanga Yoga. Sanskrit word anga means part. It is not step. Today we are going to see the 8th step, important step. 8th part, important part. Samadhi. Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyana, Samadhi. These are the 8 parts of yoga according to the founder of yoga philosophy, Patanjali. The 8th part is Samadhi. Let me translate that word Samadhi, then we will enter into the discourse. Samadhi means Sama plus Adi. Being one with reality, being one with existence, being one which was there from the beginning, which was there from the origin. It's a wonderful word. This one word, if you can understand and practice, it will straight away lead us to Samadhi. The very experience is expressed in this word, Samadhi. The experience, path, both are expressed in this one word. Samadhi is the experience and path. You can just practice the Samadhi. After achieving the experience, what you experience is also called by the same word Samadhi. The path is also Samadhi. Path and the goal, both are Samadhi. How to practice this Samadhi and what we achieve by achieving Samadhi is what we will see now. Usually, always, people are either intellectual or emotional. They don't have the sama, balance in their being. People who are too much intellectual, they create trouble to themselves and to others. Logic always decepts. Too much of intellect creates too much of problem. Mahabharata beautifully says, there are 3 kinds of bala, strength. One is Bahubala, means physical strength. Another one is Buddhi Bala, intellectual strength. Third one is Atmabala, strength of your being, compassion, love, and all these things. A man who has got only physical strength without spiritual strength, he will become a rowdy criminal. A man, if he has got only physical strength without spiritual strength, he will become a rowdy, gunda, criminal. His philosophy will be might is right. If somebody has got only intellectual strength without spiritual strength, he will become politician. Only intellectual strength, no spiritual strength, means he will become politician. Of course, there are few exemptions, good politicians also. He will control them by making them feel that they are below him. And one important thing, when I said the word politician, it doesn't mean only people who are sitting in chairs and ruling, people who are in the party, people who are in the administration. People who are in the religious field also can become politicians. The so-called priests who create guilt in people and rule them, even they are politicians. People who have got just intellectual strength without spiritual strength, they start ruling the others either by creating fear or guilt. Politicians rule by creating the fear, priests rule by creating guilt. They create guilt. Again and again you are taught you are a sinner. This is sin, that is sin. One thing, if you look little deeply, whatever you enjoy, suddenly you will feel that you are doing something wrong. See your life. If you are enjoying something, suddenly you will feel that you are doing something wrong. As if something is wrong. From the beginning, you are taught all your joy is corrupted with guilt. From the beginning, the guilt is implanted in your being. From the beginning, you are taught anything joy, blissful means you are doing something wrong. Sad, morose face is okay. Just be sad, depressed, nobody will bother you. If you simply start laughing, everybody will go, what happened? What happened to you? Why? Why are you laughing? What is that laugh? Usually people inquire if you are laughing and jumping and dancing. But if you are morose, sad, that is considered as a natural state. If you are sad, depressed, it is considered as a natural state. If you are ecstatic, joyful, laughing, naturally people will ask you, what happened to you? Why you are laughing? What is wrong with you? We don't understand. Life is ecstasy. Of course, if you are allowed to believe life is ecstasy, you can't be slave. You can't be exploited. People who have got only intellectual strength, who don't have spiritual strength, they rule you by creating guilt in you. And one more thing, even the people who sell cosmetic products, they create a guilt in you that you are not beautiful. No, it is true. Unless they create a guilt in you that you are not beautiful, how can they sell their products? They can create market only by creating guilt in you that you are not beautiful. See, that is why they again and again do these shows, fashion shows, and Miss Universe, all these programs. What do you think they do? Unless you have a deep guilt that you are not beautiful, you will not go for all these products. Again and again yoga declares. The commentators of yoga philosophy, they say beautifully, you are beautiful unto yourself. There is no scale. How can you have scale? Where is the scale? No scale. God is not engineer. If he is an engineer, he would have produced two mold, Miss Universe and Mr. Universe, Miss Universe and Mr. Universe. Then he would have ordered, make this same mold 10 million people over. But he is not an engineer. He is a painter. He is an artist. He paints every one of us. He carves every one of us. That is why every one of us are so unique. So there is no comparison. There is no need to feel that somebody is beautiful and somebody is ugly. You are enough unto yourself. I tell you one important thing. I read a beautiful book on this healing. On Dr. Louise Hay. She has done a lot of research and she has written a beautiful book. And I feel she must have had some spiritual experience. Otherwise she can't come up with such a wonderful ideas. I think she has done a big service to West by writing that book. In that she describes so many mental setups which creates disease in our being. Samskaras which creates disease in our being. Let me tell you something from my own experience. When you create an idea that somebody is beautiful and you are not, you should become like that person. See, male attracted to female or female attracted to male is perfectly alright. That's usual, natural. That's okay. But when some male puts a photograph of some male model and tries to become like him every day, doing some exercise, doing some gym, every day he tries to think, I should become like him, I should become like him. Or a female puts some female model's photo and tries to paint herself continuously to look like her. It creates a deep guilt in you and gap is created between you and you. The deep gap is created between your body and your being. It's almost like a wedge inserted into your being. You become uneasy with your being, with your body. When you start feeling guilty, you are not beautiful. You should become like somebody. You should look like somebody. You create a deep guilt in yourself. Unconsciously, you start hating your body. You don't live with your body completely. You don't live with your body comfortably. You just start feeling uneasiness with your body. When you start feeling uneasy, uncomfortable with your body, the uneasiness becomes disease. The uneasiness, diseaseness with your body becomes disease. According to my experience, I worked with millions of people in last few years. I am working with lakhs of people in the healing, in the meditation. From my experience, I tell you, the idea which is created in you that you are not beautiful enough unto yourself, that you are not beautiful, is the main cause for the cancer. When you start feeling that you are not enough, you should look like somebody else, you start creating gap between you and your body. That gap, that uneasiness, that uncomfortable feeling with your body is the root main cause for the cancer. One important thing you should understand, that body may look really beautiful, but you can't enjoy even a cup of coffee through that body. Even if you have to enjoy a cup of coffee, you have to enjoy only through this body. You have to enjoy only through your body. Can you enjoy a cup of coffee through somebody's body just because it is beautiful? No. Just because it is beautiful or handsome, you can't enjoy even a cup of coffee through that body. Be very clear, nobody is beautiful. Nobody is beautiful. Everybody is enough unto themselves. Everybody is enough unto themselves. You are okay for yourself. You don't have to compare. You don't have to think somebody else is beautiful. You don't have to feel that you are not enough. Be very clear. If God is an engineer, He would have created every one of us in the same mold. He is not engineer. He is an artist. So every one of you are unique. When the guilt is created in you, you are not beautiful. Only then you will start getting all the cosmetics, all the beauty products. To promote those products, that idea has to be created in you. All these people indirectly rule you. Indirectly, all of them rule you. The intellectual strength without having spiritual strength is a dangerous thing. Actually, I don't speak from memory. I speak from spontaneity. If somebody is speaking with mind, they will prepare their lecture, come and vomit. I speak from spontaneity. That is why every day, hours together, somewhere or other I am speaking. But so many new things are coming out, and I never feel tired. People ask me. One professor asked me, one university professor, American university professor, Swamiji, we speak. If I have to give 1 hour lecture, at least 3 hours I have to prepare. But I don't see you prepare. You just come and speak hours together. The workshops, meditation workshops, I will be speaking maybe around 30 hours in 2 days. Hours together you express. How can you do it without preparation? See, if somebody asks your name, you don't need to prepare to reply. It has become your being. Anything which has become your experience, you don't need to prepare to express that. So now, whatever I am expressing, and it has become my experience, so I am expressing. I am speaking from spontaneity. I am not speaking from the mind. When you move around, when you disturb, naturally you disturb others' attention. When you disturb others' attention, naturally I have to stop speaking. I have to bring you back to the subject. It's like a hump on the highway. It's like a hump on the highway.